I'm excited to be joined by my next guest, a group of female leaders driving change in the manufacturing industry with AI, automation, and analytics. Please welcome Industry Advisor Vicky Puponi and Senior Director of Solution Engineering at Salesforce, Kelly Rollier. Thank you both for being here. How exciting is this conversation going to be? So, Vicky, I'm going to kick it off with you because you have an impressive background. You got a wealth of experience in manufacturing. You've been the Director of Worldwide Operations at a Tier 1 supplier, Garrett. You've been the head of marketing at Honda, and now we are lucky to have you at Salesforce as an industry advisor. I am so anxious to hear, tell us from an executive altitude, what excites you most about the innovation that we're seeing right now?
I think that the most exciting thing about the innovation is the ability for our customers, right, to be able to leverage things so quickly, agents, to be able to really drive value really fast. Manufacturing is very capital intensive, people intensive, so you really have to be able to find information and then basically do things. And it's so great because really it's just an opportunity to get to value faster. And for every manufacturer, that's so important.
It is important. And like you said before, I think the manufacturing industry shows us that innovation firsthand. So you've both been a part of this industry for years, starting out in a field that was mostly male dominated for a while, right? What changes have you both seen over the course of your careers?
Yeah, I mean, it wasn't too uncommon at the beginning of my career to walk into a room and it was filled with men.
Yeah.
And it's really intimidating to see that. And honestly, we've seen changes of that, not just in the solution engineering role, which I'm in, but also at our customers. And I think it's really important because you need diverse perspectives at these companies. It drives innovation.
Yeah.
And I love seeing it at our customers. Mary Barra, who's the CEO at General Motors, it's inspiring. And internally, we have Robin Washington as our COO, our Chief Operating Officer and Financial Advisor. That's what we need to be seeing out there, is that inspiration. So it keeps other women going.
Yeah, I think just to add to that, when I started, I was the first one of 3 professional women working in this 1,800 person plant.
Wow.
And so now I used to be always like, oh, I know I'm going to be the only woman in a room. But now it's so great, I don't even count. So it's exciting.
I love to see that. It's so inspiring. And for the generation coming after us, they have even more to be excited about. So, Kelly, as technology keeps progressing, tell us about how this is actually specifically helping to have our voices in the room to help strengthen and foster the innovation and adoption of the business value that we're providing.
Yeah, well, I brought it up before. Different voices, diverse perspective brings diverse thought, right? And so I think that this is a really good time for women to really lean into AI. Educate yourself, understand it, and be a part of the conversation. Because again, we look at things differently. We have different perspectives. And I think we also know women have a lot of empathy. And I think that, you have to have an understanding of what humans need and what is going to drive the business forward. But when you marry those two together, there's so much value. And so be educated, know about the topic, and get yourself in the room because your voice is needed and it should be heard.
I agree. It brings balance. So, Vicky, one of my favorite topics is confidence. And you have a specific opinion on self-confidence and how you have been using it to drive change. So how are you able to grow in confidence and create the success that you've had for yourself and the company?
I think one of the things is thinking about, I think women always think that we have to be perfect, right?
Yeah.
And you can't be that way. But I think some of the things that's helped me is 2 things. One is looking back at the things I've done and reminding myself that I didn't really fail. Maybe they didn't come out exactly the way they wanted to. But when you're driving change in an organization, the organization wants you to be successful. So they're going to help you to do that.
Yeah.
The other thing I think is really an interesting thing that I've leveraged a lot is finding the energy within the organization, right? You could pick things that the organization and all the people are going to be is like, no, I don't want to do that. And you'll be basically pulling teeth. But if you can find the things that are going to move the business forward together and people have energy, it just builds on itself. And then you'll have another success story to look at. And that takes time, but you'll build your confidence.
I agree. One of my good friends said, when you feel the doubt, look at your receipts. Look at what you've done.
Exactly, totally.
So that just reminded me of that. So I love that. We're going to remember that.
All right, you got it.
Okay. And so, what are some of the biggest business challenges facing our customers today in the manufacturing and auto industry? Vicky, we'll start with you.
Yeah, I just saw, getting prepared for this conversation, it's so interesting. The Institute of Manufacturing and Deloitte put out a survey just recently to all the manufacturing CEOs and executives. And And 65% of these executives said that the number one issue they have is around getting enough people to come in and work in the manufacturing industry.
Wow.
Today, there's nearly 500,000 open roles, and they're projecting that there's going to have to be another 4 million jobs that'll open up, and they think that by 2030, and that still half of them will be open. And so that's why AI and agents are so terribly important for this industry.
I agree. What about you? I'm sure you have opinions on that as well in the work.
Yeah,
you do.
no, and I think that that's like one of those things where it's how can we get creative? How can we solve problems differently? I was just hearing about how AI can help with also safety concerns on the shop floor in a way that makes it so that people feel more comfortable coming in, and also, truly
Right.
companies looking out for their people by leveraging these AI tools. And I think that that's just really exciting. There's a lot that we can do, right?
Yeah.
The world's our oyster out there.
Totally. And getting rid of the mind-numbing like data analysis, the repetitive
Exactly.
processes, all that kind of stuff, and automating them.
Yeah. The insights that you can drive, if you get the right information, the right data, you can make some really incredible decisions that have huge impact.
And you landed it when you said data, because we're talking about Agentforce, right? And everything lands on the data and the data cloud, and how we have the right data to give us the agents what they need to perform. So could you give us a use case that someone could reference that's watching right now from the industry?
Well, I think top of mind right now is tariffs and a lot of things going on in the world, even just regional conflicts that happen. It causes a lot of unpredictability. It causes chaos, if we're being honest, for manufacturers. If you have the ability to unify your data, if you can take all these disparate systems, you need to be able to act quickly. And that's a part of the problem is it can take a really long time. Data Cloud makes it easy, and you don't have to lift and shift your data, zero copy. So you are able to get that information and then leverage apps like Tableau to analyze and do a what if scenario where you're able to say, what if I go to this supplier? Where am I going to be hit? What am I going to get next? And you layer AI on top of it and say, ask the AI, I'd like to focus on my delivery times and keeping those. And it's going to give you different answers. It's going to add all that up together. So data, it does all start with data. If you don't have the data, you can't make those great insights, and you can't act fast.
I love that. I love that. And so, Vicki, I want to just land with you. Any advice that you would give to companies that are looking to make an agentic transformation? They might be scared to get started or not know where to start. What tips would you give those that are watching?
I think the best thing is keep it simple, stupid, right? Right? Because I think that's scary for people, because even your people in your organization might be worried that they'll be displaced by AI.
Yeah.
But pick some stuff, particularly in manufacturing, maybe automotive also, that's very simple that you can do and you can learn, that you don't need lawyers involved, right? Maybe internal, and then learn that. Get people together, like what are the basic things? And it might be closer to like the shop floor, like pick something there, and then you can learn as an organization and build that confidence and that muscle to start doing that. I think that might be, if it were me, I would start with let's do 3 to 5 small, simple ones so we can learn.
I love that. And that's a common thing we're hearing a lot of the customers say. Is just get started, right? Don't try to boil the ocean at once.
Totally.
Pick something simple, prove the use case, prove the value so you can get money to do the rest of the business.
You got it.
So I love that. Thank you both for being here. We're so brilliant minds, women in manufacturing. I'm so lucky to have you here. So before we let you go, thank you for being here though. Before you let you go, we're looking forward to seeing what's next for you all and manufacturing and industry as a whole. So to learn more, please scan the code on the screen for a free trial of Manufacturing Cloud, or go to sforce.co/manufacturing trial.